Okay, got it.
It'll be live in a second here. So let me just move this back here. And you should have gotten a question, so you'll know exactly what I'm about to ask you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So give me 1 second, and I'll go ahead and mute this here. Okay, there we are. We're officially live. Yay! You know, all good things come to those who wait. And Samaya, thank you for waiting so patiently to work with me today. I am so excited.
Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm gonna do this a little bit differently, you guys. Hold on, let me cut this background music down a little bit. I'm gonna do this a little bit differently than I usually do, because I have to admit I didn't ask Samaya the right questions in the beginning, and I'm gonna unceremoniously cut this down. Give me a second. Okay, so I have to admit I did not get the questions to Sowmya Rahul in time. So we're going to be asking her some of the basic questions live as I introduce her. And I know, Samaya, that you are a mindset success coach and NLP practitioner, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Samaya?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. So I wonder why I can't hear you. Here we go again. Okay, give me a second. I heard you a second ago, and now I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think it was.
Can you hear me, Samaya?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
There you go. There you go. I got you. I got you. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Okay, this is getting funnier.
This is hilarious. I was just telling Samaya before we went live, we have many planets that are retrograde. As an astrologer, I feel that I would be remiss in my duties as an astrologer not to mention that Jupiter is retrograde and Saturn is retrograde and Uranus is retrograde and Pluto is retrograde. We're in the midst of a lot of people are there. It's a lot of renewal, rejuvenation, and revival, and we've got to redo a lot of things and restart and regenerate and all of those things. So we're going to just and we're starting now. Okay. So Samaya Rahul, she is a mindset success coach and an NLP practitioner. And Samaya, tell me, how did you get started as a mindset success coach and an NLP practitioner? Tell me about your journey.
Okay, so I think I started in March 2020. But of course, I had always this thought in my mind, why people do the things that we do. There was always this question that why a certain behavior or why a certain action, what is the underlying belief behind it? And I had a very difficult journey for the past 7 years. I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. I had a very bad narcissistic relationship that I was in about 4 years. And it got me thinking that while I was going through these difficulties, I was acting in a state of autopilot. I didn't know what I was doing. It just happened on its own. Nothing about it was conscious. And that's when I started to learn more about subconscious mind, how our mind behaves. And through a friend, I got in touch with one of UK's best university. It's an online university where you can, from across the world, get into any kind of certifications that's related to psychology. Wow. So NLP practitioner is something that always attracted me because NLP stands for neuro-linguistic programming. And it talks about how you can rewire your mind so that we behave in a way that brings us everything that we desire. It eliminates all our fears and limiting beliefs. And that is something that really interested me. So that's how I got into NLP. And of course, later I went into counseling and then coaching certifications. So I think by the year 2020, I was confident enough to start my own business, even though it was a bad time to start just when the pandemic hit. But I think it was an amazing, adventurous experience for me.
That's amazing. And that's a beautiful story. And I'm familiar with NLP. I've delved around it. I can't say I've delved into it like you have, but I love that you were able to take it from, just learning it to actually starting your own business in just a short period of time. And also doing it during COVID. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually, I used to live in India, but for the past 3 years, I'm here in Texas, USA. So I was put into a position where, I, I had to leave my family behind, I had to leave my career behind. And it was like a point where I would have ended up going into depression. But I think I found mindset certifications and NLP practitioner techniques, which helped me come out of it while I was doing the courses. And that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to help others with the same too.
That's a beautiful thing. And, it's so funny. I can talk about mindset and NLP and all of those things, but I admit openly that I still have my things like deep hooks and chords that I work on. I'm a sacred soulite alignment practitioner. And I work on that all the time, but I know they're so deeply embedded in there. What is it that you do to help people that might have these deeply held beliefs that they just really, their subconscious mind keeps reverting back to a time and time again?
Okay, so basically what I do is I do mindset coaching programs. I have 3 different programs that I do. In short, all of it deals with digging deep into our subconscious mind. So from the ages between 0 to 7, every individual is practically a walking subconscious mind. We take in everything that is told by our parents, relatives, that we see on TV, magazines, music, and subconscious doesn't understand the difference between, what is imagination and what is reality. For a subconscious mind, everything is reality. So I help women actually dig deeper into their past lives to understand what caused their fears and limiting beliefs and how can they actually overcome it.
My deepest apologies. This is
No.
Can I say something while you're
I get
talking?
it.
I don't know what sign you are. We're going to talk about what sign you are before we go, but I will
Okay.
tell you that like Saturn's retrograding in my first house, Jupiter's retrograding in my first house. So all of this crazy stuff, because I'm an astrologer, right? I'm watching it all like, yeah, and like, okay. Okay, let's go on back.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about that, but it's just know the craziness might occur during our interview today. So, okay,
Yes.
back to what you were saying here. So with the mindset coaching, and I know that it is a great way to help people. What seems to be the number one thing that you found that holds people back from moving forward or toward their goals?
Well, the answer is pretty simple. I have seen it with every client I ever met. It's purely the habit. I would call it a habit because I believe that you can change it, and it's not something that's permanent. Of doubting ourselves, having that deep embedded self-doubt. I think that's one of the main reasons what holds everybody back.
Yeah.
And it gives birth to various other habits like procrastination, perfectionism, overthinking. And these are the branches also that I deal with when trying to help my clients with imposter syndrome. These are something, a very visible pattern of habits that you see in almost every client who deals with self-doubt.
Wow. And the funny thing is, sometimes you don't realize that you're still racked with the self-doubt until a moment comes and you realize, oh my gosh, I dropped the ball. I'm still dealing with something. I still got crap.
Yes.
And
Yes, I think observation is is something majorly lacking in most of our lives. And we keep wondering why a certain thing is not happening. Why am I not making more money? Why my business is not expanding? So many questions because we fail to observe what our thoughts are generating and how those thoughts are transforming itself into actions that are not supporting our success.
It's so funny. I've heard this, and I can't tell you, Samaya, how many times I've heard these words, but as you're talking, it really seems to be sinking in today. And maybe it's because before we started, I went to my email, and I don't know, I'm participating in a lot of things, just as you are. I'm sure it's probably how we found each other, doing stuff, right? We're all doing stuff.
Yes.
And I every once in a while I get signups for another business I have, not my astrology business, but an older business I've been carrying around since 2006. It's called getmearealjob.com. It's a very catchy little name, getmearealjob.com. It just is, right? So it's very high up on Google thingy, and I don't do anything. It's kind of like a dormant little website. I just keep it up there.
Oh, okay.
But over the course of this summer, I must have gotten 20,000 leads. So I've been sitting on the leads. I've not even put them into the autoresponder. And today I went to look, and I was looking for some kind of confirmation from you. You're right, the girl's coming today.
Okay.
And I was going through, and I was trying to get through all of these leads. Like, it was so many. Get me a real job. Get me a real job. You got a new subscriber. 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 When I say there was, I guess, 50, 100, it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It's nonstop. So I looked at it and I'm like, okay, God, I get it. I hear you. Whatever I'm doing, because I keep asking the universe, where's my money? Where's my money? And whatever it is I'm doing, he's like, it's over there. You silly girl. What are you doing?
You just have to look.
Wake up. Get on the right track already. I'm sending you a boat, a plane, a train, a car. Get on one, okay? So that's
absolutely.
But I'm sure this happens to so many of us, right? Where this stuff is just building and building in the back, and we don't see it, and we're like blindly on our own path. But maybe that path, although I love astrology, I love what I'm doing, and I see the value in it, and I believe I could probably make whatever with this eventually. I see now that if I'm going to have a business, I need to get back into the business that's going to generate the money.
Absolutely. So many missed out opportunities just because we don't know where to look.
Yeah. Or we overlook it. How many months have I been overlooking that? Like, it's such a struggle. And I mean, not saying I shouldn't say it's a struggle, but it's a little bit of a struggle compared to that. I don't get that with my astrology business. Like, you got a new subscriber, I don't get anything like that with my astrology business. So it's like, okay, this is silliness. What are you doing, woman? Fix this. And I'm sure you must come across people who are like in that blinded state where it's right in front of them. And it's like, how do you get them? Is it like repeated sessions with you? How do you get them to open their eyes and see what's right there?
Okay, so basically, I have a 12-week coaching program. I also have a short-term coaching program, which goes on about for 2 hours, which focuses only on getting clarity. So in both these programs, the initial struggle is to make the client consciously observe themselves. So of course, since I'm an NLP practitioner, I use some of the techniques that helps us to bring our subconscious thoughts into our conscious mind. These are small activities that you can do, which will help you consciously be aware of what is going on in your life. And of course, there are certain questions that I counsel in a way where my clients realize it themselves. So I give this entire process like 4 weeks. Since it's a 12-week program, the first 4 weeks goes only to help them observe themselves and have a conscious awareness of what they're doing. is it serving them right now or is it not serving them? Because unless we realize our past, it's very difficult to know what you want in the future.
Yeah. So
So
true.
that's why, yeah, so that's something we work on in the initial 4 weeks.
I love it. I love it. And how is the results from the work that you do? Do you, do you hear that people are getting good results from going through the mindset success training? Or
Absolutely. So again, it's purely on what are you looking to resolve? Because when you get a client into the coaching program, it can be very vastly projected, because we want to resolve so many things. I want to resolve something that's not happening in my career, my work, my family, other relationship. So when I start my coaching program, I make them actually get clarity and resolve on one thing that we can solve at this particular time period. Because if you get into solving everything within the 12-week period, it is absolutely difficult.
Yeah.
You cannot generate a new person in 12 weeks, but you can definitely solve a list of limiting beliefs, remove certain fears within that 12-week period. The only aspect is the client knowing what they want to resolve.
I love that you have clarity at the base of everything. Because Samaya, I have to tell you, even for myself, clarity is the issue. Like knowing exactly what you want, having exactly the strategy to get there, all of that is so difficult. I mean, at least for me. So I could see the value in exactly what you're doing. It's amazing, by the way. So I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, which I had told you I was going to ask them. And
Yes.
so the one thing I wanted to ask you this, what is the one thing you are most proud of accomplishing in your spiritual business?
Okay, so I wouldn't say, I actually want to say my business itself is my biggest accomplishment. But I think deep down, my biggest accomplishment is self-coaching that I started with myself. This entire process started because of course, certain certifications, but I used everything that I learned on myself. I experimented on myself first. I saw what results it gave, and I could see how I changed as an individual, how my beliefs changed. And I think that is my biggest accomplishment, because people nowadays, I don't see many people putting that much effort on themselves. It's very rare to find individuals who feel, okay, I need to put effort on myself, so I'm going to get into a coaching program. And every time I do a sales call, or I invite someone to get into the coaching program, they come up with so many reasons why they don't want to work on themselves. It could be money, it could be time, so many different excuses attached to it. Even though some of those excuses might be right, it actually saddens me to see that people are not prioritizing themselves first. So that is my biggest accomplishment, because I learned how to prioritize myself.
I love that. That is great advice. And I can tell you something. I had just gotten out an opportunity to be in a coaching program with a young lady, not because her program was not good, but after a while you become, I am anyway, because I know so many people, you become inundated, and then you're working on everyone else's idea, program, strategy, whatever, and you're not really taking the time to actually implement it yourself. For your, if you're always in class, you're not actually building. And I need to build. And so I had to like step back and go, great, you probably can show me a new way of making this money, but I'm in an implementation stage now, and I have to start the building. I'm a Capricorn, for goodness sake, we got to build. So, that's amazing. I love that, the getting started, because we all do have those blocks, don't we?
So absolutely. It is actually very important what you said, because I feel that that's one thing that I coach in my program. we don't provide solutions. We don't say this should be your strategy or you have to do. All I do is be there to guide my clients, counsel them through the process, and they come up with their own strategies, because that is the only way you will perform an action which will have a long-term successful result. Just because I say it works does not mean it's going to work for you. You have to find out a way what works best for you.
Yes. I love that. That's something I have to remind my astrology clients about sometimes. Like, I can tell you what's there, but the rest is up to you, you know.
True.
What are some interesting facts about you? Now, I picked up that you are originally from India. You now live in Texas, and you got your course out of England, right? So
yes,
that's amazing right there. So any other interesting facts about you that you could share with us? Anything that might surprise people?
I don't know if you can call it interesting, but I love to write. I have my own blog. I write for 4 days each week.
Wow.
And it's all just my experiences, what I went through, how I overcame, just personal experiences that I feel, even if one person reads it and if they can relate to it, that's all I need. I don't want some big followers. I don't want to be ranked top on the Google. Even if one person reads and feels that they can connect, something is relatable, I think that's the difference that I want to make. I also love dancing. I love dancing. It's like my therapy. Every time I have a bad mood, I just need a good song. And if I dance, then everything, no stress, no overthinking, nothing, everything comes back to normal. And it's an added point if the song is from the K-pop BTS, because I love them.
You like K-pop too? I love K-pop.
Yes.
Hilarious that you said that. I've got a crazy story. I used to be 500 pounds and in a wheelchair. I talk about it all the time. And I lost 300 pounds from dancing. And one of the things I danced to was K-pop music. I kid you not.
That's nice.
I kid you not. I have a video out there. I just came across it the other day, Dance and Slim Down. And in it, the first video I ever made online, and it says specifically, how did you lose 300 pounds? And I put in there, I eat like a Korean. Now, I shouldn't say that today because it's not the right thing to say, right? But I ate a lot of ramen. I had a lot of kimchi. I really did. I just wanted to, I was really into that at that time. And I really did lose all that weight, just changing my mindset and really, truly thinking, listening to Korean music, drama, everything. It changed my whole life.
Absolutely. It's just a mood lifter.
It really is. It's hilarious. To this day, I still try to do my dancing, but I'm getting a little old, but it was wonderful. And I love BTS too. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's nice.
So now you kind of went over this a little bit, but what made you choose the work that you do? What made you choose that particular type of work?
Well, I think one particular incident pushed me to actually take action. I obviously, like I said, I had it all going on in my mind. I just needed that push. And it was kind of a traumatic incident for me. One of my relatives committed suicide exactly before the pandemic hit. And it was a very traumatic experience. And I was literally down for a month. And it really hit me hard that in order to do something like that, you need to be going through something that you feel is irreparable. You cannot do anything to change it. And I don't believe that. I believe that everything in life, everything that we do can actually be changed if we can put a little effort, if we can reach out to someone. And that was the main reason that actually pushed me to make what I do, what I love, into a business. So I could help people become mentally strong, help them rewire and actually move towards their future goals, whatever those goals might be.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so sorry for your loss. By
Thank
the
you.
way, it brought back thoughts for a second. When I was younger, I lived in Alaska for 15 years.
Okay.
My daughter
Okay.
there. And in Alaska, they say 6 months of light, 6 months of darkness, but actually
Yeah.
in Alaska, it's more like 9 months of darkness. And over the course of time, I just started getting more and more depressed. And then when I had my daughter, I got what they call sad. I didn't know what it was, but I had one day, I just remember I had dropped my daughter off at the daycare and I went to work, and I just didn't want to get off I got on the bus to go home, I think it was, and I just didn't get off the bus. And they ended up calling the people to come get me. And I ended up going into the hospital. And I was there for like 7, 8, 9 weeks. Like, it was life-changing. And then a few years later, I had tried to take some pills, and a girlfriend came in and caught me at that moment. She said she had this vibe that there was something going on. And I could tell you, Samaya, the feeling that I had was that everyone would be better off if I was gone. And I think that's what goes on in the mind of the person that's looking to commit suicide, that they feel that they're some kind of albatross. Now, where that comes from, I mean, in my case, it was coming up a lot because the seasonal depression was really hitting me. But the fact that we have that, and I can pinpoint that thought because it was constant, like, they'll be better without you. Like I was saying, my daughter would have a better life without me. People would not have so much trouble without me. And so that was a major thing I had to overcome. And I had to train myself to believe my daughter would be better with me. And my survival meant her survival. And so now my daughter's 35 almost. Next week, she'll be 35. And she's done very well. And I'm still with her. Like, we're still connected because that bond is what kept me here on this earth, on this plane. And I feel like some people, they just can't figure that out, what it is that connects them here. And so they long for somewhere else, which...
I mean, kudos to you that you realized that. I mean, that I know it takes so much courage to actually realize and come out of it. It takes so much more courage to live than to decide to leave. So that is something really commendable that you did. And I like that you said you found your meaning to live from your daughter. And I think that's something that some of the people who go into this deep depression and don't want to live, because they lose that meaning or the purpose of life. They don't have anything that they can look forward to. Mm-hmm. That's one of the main reasons people go into that depression. But I don't think that's reality, because you can always find meaning in your life. That's really a beautiful story.
Yeah, wonderful. And it's beautiful that you're helping people to find their own personal meaning and to find alignment, so that, oh, that's why I'm here. Because sometimes it's silly. We don't know. Everyone's got their own life purpose, right? And we forget there is a reason, there is a purpose for us being here. We're all part of the whole. And I do think that a lot of us are not aware of that, especially when you're in the pain. It's hard to do that.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for anyone who wants to do what you do, who's considering, say, mindset coaching or NLP training? What would you suggest?
Okay, so this is coming from a place where I looked up to a lot of people for advice, and I got something that did not give me a sense of satisfaction, because everybody told me that I need to have a proper certification from only ICF, which is US based authorization that you get that you are a certified coaching. It's International Coaching Foundation, which gives you access to actually practice.
Mhm.
But for coaching, you do not need only to be certified by them. There are so
Right.
many options. Coaching is a field where you actually do not need any certifications.
Right. Hello, I'm a spiritual
Yeah.
coach and working on being
Yeah,
a
you
life
don't.
coach. Right.
You just need your personal experience, the
Right.
ability to share your knowledge with people.
Right.
And if you make a difference in one person, you are confident enough to make difference in every other individual. And that's all it takes, a business mind, and to make a change in
Right.
someone's life. I think that attitude is absolutely important when you're in the coaching business, because you don't coach for personal gain. You coach for others gain. You need to give something in order to be a good coach. And that's something that's very important. So I would say no need to get into that mess of, you need certification from a recognized institution. None of that is needed. But if you want to learn more about a tool or a technique. So I wanted to learn about NLP, and that's why I got an NLP certification. So in that case, if you really want to learn something, you can go for certifications. But other than that, I think stick to what you are true to,
Mhm.
what your experience comes from. So if you're a marketing expert, you were in corporate doing sales, you can quit your job and be a business coach, a marketing coach. That's all that's needed.
Mhm. I love that. I love that. And it's great advice because a lot of people don't know where to get started. There's a lot out there and they
Yeah,
don't know exactly what to do. And you can get into coaching programs that are just a few $100s, or you can get into coaching programs that are thousands upon thousands of dollars. And the saddest
yeah,
part is both are going to generate the same for you.
exactly.
It's true.
They're just going to give you a tested model that you can use with your clients.
Right.
And I don't think you have to stick to that either. You can make your own model.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. I applaud you because the whole mindset coach thing, that's something I said, oh, I'm going to be a mindset coach, right? I put that out there in the universe like 4 years ago. It is now
Okay.
2021. My butt is still dealing with all the get me a real job emails. So that just shows that you had fire and desire under you to get it done since 2020. Are you kidding? I've got bills that I haven't paid since 2020. You have really
I
done
know.
something. It's amazing to build a
Now, if
whole.
I think back on it,
Yeah,
it's pure adventure.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful because you took an idea, you implement it, you got the education, then you put it into practice. And that's really what it takes. A lot of us, and I know it's now, the procrastination and the perfectionism, we all know what that's about. But I have that. I've got so many projects that I was supposed to start. I might have even purchased them. I mean, I've got a program right now that I paid $500 for, and I cannot seem to get it to go. I don't know. I go work on this thing I paid $27 for. Why do we do things like that? That's what I'm saying. Crazy,
I
right?
absolutely get it. I am a recovering procrastinator, a
Oh,
recovering perfectionist.
yeah.
So I understand.
It's funny. You hear about it, but it's true. And you might think, oh no, I don't got that. And then there's this place. I think it's called ClickUp. I think if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, you can stick all your things in it and all your
Okay.
projects, right? And then I stopped at 130. That's how bad it is. I'm like, I'm forgetting. I'm overwhelmed. And so I realize that this is something a lot of us do. We overwhelm ourselves and we don't go
Absolutely.
straight for whatever it is that we want to do. And if is there any advice you have as a mindset coach for people who do that, like myself? I know you mentioned clarity, and I know as an astrologer, I have Neptune on a midheaven. Clarity is my issue. And I'm also a 6-2 generator in human design. Clarity is my issue. And an IFP, clarity is my issue. So what would you recommend to someone who is desperately in need of clarity?
Okay, so the things that you just explained, I call it textbook perfectionist. It's a term used when we are so eager to learn everything, to grasp all the knowledge that is available. It's coming from a place where you don't want to miss out on things. It's like FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yep.
But I think the most important thing when we're going through such a phase is it's okay to take in those information, to get into courses. I have done that myself. I've got into so many courses at one single point of time. I still have 2 courses pending on my udemy.com cart. And I stopped purchasing any more courses. And I started, actually applying what I take in as knowledge. 50% of the time I am doing the course, 50% of the time I'm applying it on myself. So I started doing this for everything. It can be a course, any certification programs, workshops, any self-help books that you read. I love reading self-help books. There's so much information there that I keep buying books, so many books that I hadn't read. And then I realized I'm going to start with one book.
Yeah.
I will read it. Half of the day I'm going to read it. The next half of the day I'm going to apply it on myself.
Yeah.
So I'm not in a hurry to finish the book. I will read half of it. I will apply it. And once I'm done applying it, I will read the remaining half of it. So by that way, I am satisfied that I'm taking all the information. I'm not missing out on anything, but also I'm experimenting all the information on myself. And I know whether it's going to work or it's not going to work. So I think that is very important when we are in that perfectionist phase, to take a moment, take all the information, but also take time to play with it, apply it on yourself.
Right. And that is amazing that you said that, because you would be so ashamed of me, but I actually came across a program. I was on YouTube and an ad came up and it says, get this program. And it looked great. And I went to buy it and it was like, log in. And I'm like, I already bought it. So I went there and I was able to create an ebook in like a half an hour. And I was like, that's amazing. Okay. But I already had the basics, right? But I could plug it in and make it beautiful. Let's just say that. And I thought, how long have I been sitting on this program? I already bought it, obviously. Who knows when? But that's the craziness. So I'm thinking what I might do. Remember I said earlier, all the get me a real job things. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is maybe do some type of review, something or other. Because I have literally purchased hundreds of products. So I'm like, what if I do something where I can just send them out emails on products that actually work? And then, of course, if I got affiliate links, I can always send those too. But I've got so many. It's insane. And that would be part of the implementing, because if in order to review them all, I have to actually use them or attempt to, so I can review them. So, that might be a good idea.
Could be a kind of motivation, because you might end up applying it or implementing it because you have to do the review. So that's a good motivation.
Yes, definitely. I think I'm definitely going to put that into motion talking to you. I've already come to some clarity. I already got some clarity.
I'm so glad.
So, okay. Is there something you would like to promote? I don't know if you have a link. If you could put it in the chat, that way I can put it into our YouTube. So I don't know if you can get to the chat here, and then I can stick it up on the YouTube page. Any link, I think you said you had a 2-hour program. If you've got any freebie links or any master classes or anything like that, that I can lead people to.
I do have a freebie on my website.
Okay.
I will share the link to my website over the chat. I also do, like I said, I love writing. So I have a blog
The subconsciousmindproject.com.
Yes, so that's the name of my business.
Putting it up even as we go. I'm sticking it up there right now. So let's see here. We've got Samaya. Okay, I put that up there. Oh, I didn't put HTTP, so let me stick that down.
Oh, yeah.
That'll definitely help to put that in there.
Yeah, so the website has a freebie page. Also the blog, I share a lot of tips and techniques
Awesome.
that I use on a day-to-day basis, also on my coaching programs. So you can also check that out.
Good.
And 2 of my programs are listed on the website. But apart from that, I do a long-term coaching program, but I haven't listed on the website because I only do that if the clients request it. So it's a long-term coaching program. It doesn't have a time limit. It is tailor-made according to the client's requirements. So however the client wants it to be done, particularly work-related, then the entire program is tailor-made only for setting clarity, subconsciously rewriting the fears related to their work. And it might go up probably 6 to 8 months time limit. So I do that only when the clients request. So I'm just putting it out there in case anybody wants more information, just drop me a email, or I am always available on Instagram. So
oh, I love it. Do you what's your IG link? Do you have a, can you put your
yeah,
IG?
it's the same, the Subconscious Mind Project.
Oh, just the whole thing.
Okay. Yes, the entire thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. I got astrology to look inside, so I know that we got long business names.
Yes.
Hilarious. So, okay. So I am so excited that you have, I can't even believe we're at almost an hour. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Okay. So do you have an affiliate program or anything like that?
No, not yet. Everything that's listed only on
is all there at the website. All there at the website. Okay. Okay. Yes. So there's one last thing I usually do with my guest, and I am going to do it now with you because we've kind of got to the end of things. And I'm looking at you, and I've been looking at you out the corner of my eye the whole session.
You're going to do a reading on
me? Yeah, just to see what sign you're emanating, like what's coming off of her. So I have been thinking there's certain words that you've said, certain things that you've done that I've looked at you and I'm thinking, okay, is she a Gemini, a Virgo, an Aries, a Scorpio? What sign are you?
I'm an Aries. Okay, that was
I love it. I love it. You touch your hair and your ears. So I thought Aries was there, but then I saw the Gemini and the Virgo, right? Or the Scorpio, because you got the dark hair and you know, and you're very precise. And the way you went in for your goals, that could be Scorpio or Aries, and in your case, Aries. It takes a certain type of pioneering spirit to go from 0 to 100 in less than 2 years. And you did that. You are a natural pioneer. You're paving the way for something. And it's obviously in your spirit, and you're following that. And it's beautiful. I love it. I love the vibes from that.
You have no idea how happy I am to hear that.
Yes. I mean, this is beautiful. You're doing it at a good time. Saturn's in Aquarius. It's going great for Aries. Keep doing your projects. I'm sure it's leading to financial gain for you. It's a beautiful time to make friends. All of this, just keep doing what you're doing. And I'm going to definitely follow you and hang out on your website. Yes. And let's just stay connected. Do you hang out on Facebook at all?
Yes, I do, by the same name.
Same name. Okay. So you got a Facebook group there too, or Facebook page?
No, I don't have a Facebook group yet. I have a Facebook page.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You can find my personal account too, Sowmya Rahul.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So I'm also available there.
Yay. That way we can stay connected. And I would love to invite you to my astrology group there so you can see that. Okay. And of course, let you know what all the different places I'm going to put our interview, because I'm going to put it everywhere.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm
So
loving it.
one last thing I want to ask you before we go, is there anything we didn't cover that anything you would like to say that you feel that you didn't get a chance to say yet?
I think I covered more or less what I do, with what makes what I do a passion for me. The only thing that I want to say to everyone who's listening is push yourself a little bit every day. You don't have to push yourself 100%. You just have to remind yourself that I have to do better than what I did yesterday. So the competition should always be how I was yesterday and how I am today. And I think that makes it so much easier for us to change our behaviors towards a more growth mindset. So I just want everyone who's listening to remember that.
That's beautiful. I always tell people we're not in competition with other people. We're in competition with ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
People forget that. Anyway,
Yes.
Samaya, it's been such a pleasure. And as is customary, we're going to party on out of here. Oh, sorry. We're going to party on out of here. And Samaya, it's been such a pleasure. I'm so glad we met each other. And I'm sure we're going to have a chance to get to know each other better. Much love.
Absolutely. We will stay connected. Thank you so much for having me here again.
My pleasure.
Absolutely pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's dance on out. Let's dance on out. Hey.
Yay.
I will bring the party.
Nice. That's true.
Yes, I love it. Much love to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.